right, so it's 3:31. We're gonna call this meeting to order. And let's see, Mr. Jake is out. I'm here. Ms. Boo is out. Ms. Janice here. JJ. Dr. Davis. Dr. Hill. Mr. Howell. Dr. Reynolds. Jason.
Here.
Dr. Welsh. And Brittany.
PTA.
PTA. And Bill? Nope. Nope. Miss Rodrigue.
I'm
Miss
here.
Angie.
Here.
Emily. And Taylor. There we go. Teacher rep. All right. So that's it. So we don't have a quorum, I don't believe. We have 1, 2, 3,
Nope.
4, 5.
5.
Yeah. So no kind of decisions can be made, right?
Unless Mr. Howell magically appears, because it's
It's-
unlikely that he's not going to be here.
Right.
It's moved here, but
It's-
it doesn't count if we do the online version, it doesn't count.
Can't do any. I think that's against the rules.
Probably,
Yeah.
You can do it for informational purposes, but you just can't vote on it.
Can't vote, right?
yeah. Okay.
All right, so approval of the minutes from December 18th. They're in your packets, they were emailed. Anybody have any thing to say about them? All right. So they're gonna stand as
As presented.
presented. All right, board training special guest, anybody?
So I did reach out to Miss Boo. Miss Woods opted to cancel today's presentation. She has asked to reschedule for the March 26th meeting to give the renewal presentation. If you remember, the last renewal that occurred around December, she's trying to head it up. She did, however, come today, and she and I sat together with information that she had gotten from Dr. Baird. They've been back and forth. We'll talk a little bit during my time, but I did want to say that that's not happening today,
But in March.
in March.
Okay. All right. Teacher representative report.
Okay, so in lower school, ELA, third grade students are completing a book study on Junie B. Jones. They are also being introduced to word families in the first through third grade as well, and they're practicing using races. Within the next week, they will be undergoing placement tests for grade level material. Lower school math said all classes are working on coin recognition and value. Middle of year math benchmark, 100% of first graders, 80% of second, and 93% of third graders met their middle of year target, which is phenomenal.
That's
Those
awesome.
are great numbers to have. Social living students are beginning lessons on primary and secondary sources, and they're currently working on test taking skills to prepare for LEAP. And they just went to Chick-fil-A today for growing on their benchmarks and had a picnic under the oak trees. Middle school math. Fourth is moving into multi-digit multiplication and division, while fifth is working with decimals. It's been a doozy for them. You know that. Science, fourth grade is working on vision and light, which is about actually all the senses and survival mechanisms. Fifth is learning on modeling matter, which is about everything, because everything is matter. ELA, for my fourth graders, are one lesson away from completing their first unit of CPLA. I do have to do a little mini grammar and morphology lesson because it presents it to them very quickly and sporadically throughout the unit, so just to make sure they have it. But they'll be finishing their first grade level unit, and fifth is about a week away from finishing their first grade level unit as well. On Acadience for ELA middle school, 77% of students grew in middle school. Fourth grade's goal was to grow at least 20 points, and 73% of fourth graders met that goal. Fifth grade's goal was 30 points of growth, and 72% of them met that as well. And then 81% of middle school students grew on the iReady ELA. winter benchmark, and 54% of middle school met their iReady middle of year benchmark goals specifically. In social studies, we are beginning the last chapter of Unit 1 in 5th grade, so now they get to learn about the Black Plague and the 100 Years' War. It's probably my favorite part of the Middle Ages, personally. 4th grade just finished learning about ancient Mesopotamia, and we are moving on to the ancient Israelites and the Egyptians, and we wrapped up our chapter by watching some documentaries, and they are quite mind blown at seeing that Ms. Roderick walked in on them, kind of quite amazed at the fact that these things still exist. They're just covered in dirt, and it's people's jobs to actually uncover them from the dirt. PE and track. We finished our PE and health. Sorry, we finished our track unit, and we're moving on to soccer, which has been quite entertaining. They're still working away at improving handwriting, and we've actually had a few that have finally begun the cursive handwriting. They've mastered print, so we're moving on to cursive. General middle school information. Middle of year math benchmark. 66% of all MAC students reached their targeted middle of year growth for easy CBM, which is also great. In upper 6th grade, ELA is in their yellow fever unit. 7th is working on learning about Phineas Gage's story. 8th grade is almost done with their Frederick Douglass unit. All the units are nonfiction. 6th and 7th grade are heavily science-based, while 8th is more historic. Math, 6th grade math is working on division with fractions. 7th grade is going into subtraction with negatives. 8th grade is reviewing for their unit test, which covers angle relationships, triangles, and sounds like a lot of geometry. God bless them. I don't teach math for a reason. I say it all the time. Social studies. 6th grade students are preparing to test on the causes that led to the American Revolution. 7th completed their Unit 1 assessment on the election of 1860 and are moving into the first battle of the Civil War. 8th grade students just started a new unit, Prosperity and Decline, which begins with the Roaring Twenties and how the country was moving during that time. In science, all grade bands are nearing the ends of their first units from before the break. In general, the Max Academy Color Guard had their first performance this Saturday at Lakeshore High and their second at New Iberia this Saturday. All field trips have been scheduled. 8th is the first in March for an overnight to LumCon, while 7th and 6th will be during the first week of May. From special education, lower sped intervention says 58% of lower schoolers met the growth criteria for Acadians, and they will begin preparations for training students to utilize their accommodations. Excuse me. And they're reassessing grade level CPLA material. In middle school, we are working on a phonics intervention with middle schoolers in order to remediate deficits in decoding. This is in addition to intervention. Upper is working on reading comprehension and grade level math intervention in small groups.
Sounds like people are busy.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm looking at those science and social studies topics, and I swear I don't remember. It's been a long time, but I don't remember
I'm having
learning
so much
about
fun.
some of those
I'm having
things
so much. I love
in middle
social
school.
studies. I love social studies.
Not really middle school because it's our middles.
But-
It's
Right.
4th and 5th.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right.
I'm having so much fun with it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Especially the documentaries, like I said, just letting them being able to see it because it's stuff I'm pulling. But I even pulled up like things that they could relate it to something. So, for example, the one for today, Ms. Roderick walked in on, we were talking about the city of Nineveh in Mesopotamia. It is when most people hear it, they typically think of the story of Jonah and the whale because that's where he was supposed to go, was deliver the message that your city's going to get destroyed unless you get your act together, pretty much. And students remembered that part, but they were like, it's a real place? Nineveh? Yeah, it's a real place. And like the same thing with like the Tower of Babel. They knew the story, but they were like, the Babylon we talked about is the place where this was? Yeah. So like they're actually relating it to something
That's
that they
awesome.
know. It's very fun. I can't wait till we get to Egypt. That's gonna be the cherry.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the very thorough report. All right. Any questions for our teacher representative? Okay, Miss Angie.
Okay, thank you guys for coming. My report is very bland, I guess, if you will. Not a lot of
Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor. Not too much stuff out of the ordinary. If you look at the profit and loss for the month, those are the things that I usually try to just highlight for y'all. If you see the difference in expenditures, last month we paid stipends, this month we didn't. That's why you usually see a big giant decrease or increase in the expenditures. Other than that, a lot of our regular expenditures are pretty much in line with how they've been for the past few years, and not too much is out of the ordinary. The interest that we talked about a couple years ago when we opened those 90-day CDs, I know that JJ had warned that it would probably, is leveling off. It's not quite as high as it was for the last couple of years, but we're still making money on our money, so the overall picture shows that we kind of grow from year to year as far as our cash accounts that we have. And just a few notes about what I had been doing this month. It was the fun tax season, so I prepared the W-2s and 1099s for all of our employees and contract workers. And then all of the payroll tax reporting was due in mid-January. In the process, all the reimbursement requests and claims that I usually do every month. Like I said, nothing out of the ordinary. The second quarter financial report, the charter required reporting that we do quarterly, I turned that in earlier this month. And then super app for 26-27, crazy, right? But it was due last Friday, and Ms. Rodriguez and I worked on that for a couple of weeks and made sure we got that submitted. Basically, you're submitting for the competitive portion of Super App, and then they make their decisions a little later in the year. But and then I had another amendment for this year's Super App. We had a few. Usually in the mid-year, they reallocate or allocate the rest of the money that you were going to be promised for the entire school year. I think at the beginning we get allocated 90%, and then they make adjustments in the mid-year. So so that was what that amendment was about. And other than that, pretty straightforward, normal financial activity happening in the building. If you guys have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Any questions? Well, thank you, Miss Angie.
You're very welcome.
So grants, building and sites, anything, either one of those?
Mr. Jake sent someone over. We did have a while back a leak, but because we didn't have hard rain, it was hard to catch it. But prior to this last bout of rain, we got someone up on the roof to do some patching that needed to happen. We are still in the process of fixing the boys' restroom, but when we tried to fix a small thing, because the building was shifting and it's those partitions, a few other things down the line have to get fixed first, because now everything's all shifted and there was no way to actually do the patch that we had gotten the missing piece for. So we're still in the process of doing that.
Okay.
And I don't really have anything to add on grants. I know probably soon I'll need to get with Emily and maybe discuss any kind of options or things that we might look at going forward. But no real new business in the world of grants right now.
All right. Okay, so principal's report, Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so as I said earlier, Ms. Woods, our Director of Charter Accountability, has rescheduled the annual site visit and the board presentation to March 26th. What prompted that was because, as you know, I had asked earlier about those missing components in our alternative framework we had our internal data that I was able to process to know how many points, if last year's data were a renewal needed data, this is how we would have fared. But I've been looking to get our LEAP data. Now, the middle LEAP data, we kind of knew where we were. But my question was, how do we process those indices? So there was a back and forth between accountability and charter accountability, which are separate places, and I did not know until today that they don't exchange information unless it's a renewal year. And so that's kind of been the conundrum with the people I deal with on a regular basis. But she got a little more clarity for something that she came in on after the fact in terms of calculating and what goes into those calculations. And she sat with me and we calculated today. So if you'll turn the page from my report, I have finally, after the arduous odyssey, gotten information. Caveat, we're still waiting for Dr. Baird to assure the accuracy of 2 English majors math. That's the reality we're at. But yay.
Yeah.
So
it looks like we
I'm
would
trying
have
to curb my enthusiasm until I have that last thumbs up. But if last year were it, we would have gotten 40 extra points.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Looks like a final.
That is awesome.
So it's taken us 8 months to come to the conclusion, yes, we're in the right direction. Yes, we're going on the right direction. I would like to talk later on about how that's all going to change.
Of course.
And it's important for the board to know that because, yeah, that's something that, I know you were in on the negotiations for the first framework that we now have. With the new accountability system rolling out, it's not in my report because I didn't find it out until this morning. With the new accountability that is rolling out for the state of Louisiana, progress points and progress indices as part of SPF are no longer going to be calculated as a component of SPF because everything becomes progress directed. So those numbers and the stuff that I had to do for all of my students to do that calculation, those disappear. Which means the thing we use to calculate also disappear. So that's something that we're going to have to gear up for, not so much at the LDOE, but probably at Bessie. I found this out today. Because it's not a matter of if, those numbers are disappearing.
After our renewal?
I'm not 100% sure, and she's getting that information. I mean, default's not bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's just it just seems like they're the changes. It's like
well,
they move
the
the ball.
entire
They're always moving.
but it is a byproduct, nothing that was directed.
Right.
And as I mentioned last meeting, when we got our SPF, okay, so we had the school performance score, which we've had for a while now, the same performance score, although I did point out that the progress indices from last year, we would have accumulated in that component a B, as evidenced by what we have here.
Right.
Once I was able to finally calculate it to our specific needs, disaggregated. But had last year's scores been run through the new accountability system, we would have had a D as opposed to a failing grade.
Oh.
So the entire system is gearing towards that use of moving kids,
Yeah.
not
So
strictly.
they're kind of aligning more with what we've been doing instead of making us go with what they're
Correct.
doing.
Correct.
Okay.
So, but that's something that came up in our conversations this morning, that eventually that's gonna have to be looked at completely,
Mhm.
all over again,
So what's the effective date of the new
We're-
company?
this year.
Just, August 1st?
So I'm not, no, they've been rolling this out now for a while. So last year, they crunched the numbers in both systems. So they crunched the numbers in the legacy accountability formula, and they crunched all of our numbers in the new accountability formula. So that's why I have both of those grades to look at. Only one of them counts when they go and publicize the different schools and where they stand on the SPF. But we, as a school system, were able to see both of the accountability formulas at work. My assumption is they were going to do both again for this year, but only the new one counts when they start publishing.
And the
And
results
it's-
from those were dissimilar for Max. at least.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Okay. As mentioned in Ms. Brannon's report, we did complete MOY pretty early on, long before we had to worry about snow and even the bout of flu that ran through the building the second, third week of school coming back from Christmas break. We also have a color guard, and we represented out in Lakeshore. Oh my God, it's cold up there. And we are going again in New Iberia this Saturday to represent Max as well. And we're really excited to have that. And
That's
so
awesome.
now that I&O is no longer a part of how we get graded, we have interests and opportunities going on in the building. Okay, so Mardi Gras break is going to be February 16th through 20th. Everyone be safe, have fun, don't freeze. LEAP testing window starts April 1st, which we're not going to actually start on April 1st because Good Friday is April 3rd, and then we're going out for Easter. So we're going to be coming back from Easter and doing our testing. Okay. And I'm so happy you're here, Miss Emily. If there is any way to get in touch with maybe Tilu and Company for that Thursday before Good Friday. I don't know if that's a possibility because I don't know if the
Yeah,
kids get out.
they should be in school that Thursday.
Because that would be our last day, either that day or the Monday that we get back, which would be, just a second, I'm sorry.
They have the same spring break as y'all, pretty much.
Okay, because we would be coming back on April
13th.
Why are you not working today?
That's the week after.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna say yes, it would be April 13th, but my calendar is not populating, so I have to go to a different calendar. Correct.
Okay.
We are, well, actually, we come back on April 13th, but since we are coming off of a week off, we are not starting state testing
Right.
on April 13th. So either the 13th or the 14th would be a nice time to have a sort of a
Cheer
pep
and do-
rally or something
Okay.
to get them into
I will
the
get in
mood.
contact with the cheer coach.
Thank you
and
so much.
See if we can make that happen. I'm
Yes,
sure we
ma'am.
will be able to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is afternoon better for you?
Afternoon is better, yes, ma'am.
Okay. What time you think?
Either at 2, 1:30ish, if
Okay.
that's okay.
During the walk time.
Just a suggestion, but I think the color guard should perform at that time too.
We will look into that as well. The color guard has given a few performances for the school. Okay, when she was starting the first choreography, we cycled all the different grade bands to have their show outside. So I don't know if they're going to come up with a new show because right now they're doing their competition show, which I think is the same show with multiple iterations of it. Okay, let me get back to where I was in my report. I was able to get in touch with Dr. Shanman. He is working with the grade level teachers so that they can start up the spring schedule. He has already actually worked with Miss B to set up 392 and 382, doing their springtime cycling in, doing either observations or running interventions as part of the projects that go on in those classes in the College of Education. Okay? And of course, transportation still knows that. Any questions, comments, concerns?
All right, so
Thank you so
none,
much.
we'll move on. Thank you, Ms. Rotre. Parent committee.
Thank you for the opportunity to share a brief update from the PTA. We appreciated the chance to host a small luncheon for the teachers, our teachers, just before the Christmas break as a simple thank you for all that they do. I'm also happy to report that the PTA's financial position remains solid, and we remain focused on just responsible stewardship. Our next PTA meeting is Wednesday, February the 25th at 6 o'clock here.
All right, well, thank you. And then, let's see, new business, any new business?
Well, this is not business, this is an FYI. Yesterday I got this certified letter from the Board of Ethics. They went back and pulled my forms from 2024, 2023, and 2022 and said that I needed to redo them all. You know, they didn't threaten me with a fine unless I got them back in on time. One of the forms is kind of new, so you have to be careful how you fill it out. So just an FYI to everybody, you know, somebody is up there is just digging into things that have happened in the past. I don't know why.
Unbelievable.
But you may get a letter saying that, okay, something from 2019 you have to go and redo. You know, so,
And you get the date right.
oh yeah, and
Make
one
sure you have
form,
the date.
I did not check off. I didn't put a check mark. It was for my wife's employment because she's doing substitute teaching for the food parish, so I didn't put a check mark. So they wanted me to put a check mark. They highlighted it for me. So I couldn't do a check.
Yep.
So it really,
They couldn't put that check mark for you?
To me, it's picky. It's really
Yeah.
picky, you know. So just be careful. Make sure you dot every I, cross every T when you're doing those things.
Check every
Yeah.
box.
And check every
Check
box.
every box. All right.
I guess we should remind them that we volunteer and give up all of our precious time
Right.
to be among ourselves. Happy as we can be. They found me too with that show. Madam President, do I have to present, we have some changes to the bylaws which came up last meeting, which I probably would need to have approved if we have 50% of everyone here. Can we have that? Do we have
Let's
enough
see,
now?
we have 1,
I think
2,
Dr.
3,
Hoover brought
4, 5, 6.
It's a half, not half plus one. It's not, we changed it to 1/2.
Oh, so we have half.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we don't count the PTA vice president, because that was not voting, non-voting, right?
Right.
So yeah, there's 6 out and 6 here. So, thank you for coming. You saved the day.
Very, very quickly, based on the information you gave us, there was a statement, I think, about updating the bylaws. That's on the last page we have here. Page 4 at the bottom, we now have a section I in Article 4 that says that board members shall operate in accordance with these duly adopted bylaws and shall adhere to those conflict of interest policies consistent with applicable law, including but not limited to the Louisiana Code of Governmental Ethics. I think that was directly from what they recommended. And I think since we're the committee, we make a motion from the committee that the board accept the updates as written and allow me then to put it online.
Okay, so a motion,
Motion
we have a second?
Can I second it
from the committee.
from the committee? Probably.
I'll
Oh,
second.
Jason seconds, thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
All in favor of, what Dr. Davis just said
Whatever.
about, adding this section to the bylaws?
And I sent it to Boo, so she
And,
has it.
oh, Boo already has it, okay, good. All in favor? Anybody opposed? All right, motion carries, it's added. Well, thank you for doing that work. Every time we talk about bylaws, I think like, gosh, what's gonna happen when Dr. Davis decides he's retired for sure? Like, thank you for doing that.
Well, Larry and I are both about 80 now, so.
Oh my
we're-
gosh.
Yeah, we have to go into the sunset.
Okay.
I know.
All right, so then, thank you for that, thanks again,
Okay.
Dr. Hill, thank you too, for being part of that committee. All right, so then, announcements, next board meeting, Thursday, February 26th, and, PTA meeting, Wednesday, February 25th, 6 p.m. Anything else?
Our first prospective parent meeting will be February 12th. The application window, I forgot that. The application window has opened and will close March 31st.
Do you have like a rough estimate on like how many openings like there might be? Like, I mean, I know it's still early in the year to tell who's coming, who's not, but.
Usually the hardest part is seeing eligibility and then making those eligible work.
Right, but if we were to
Post
say
how
we
many?
have this many spots, I mean, because we have 94 kids right
94
now,
kids.
or 93, is it? 93. So, but I know by grade level she has,
So,
different needs. But
for example, 5th grade is packed.
Current 5th grade?
So that means
Rise
next
of sixth.
year's 6th grade most
Okay.
likely has no
Yeah.
room. 7th and 8th grade, there's always some room. It's just the viability of coming in that late.
At that late, right.
A lot of people are wary about changing their kid for 1 year or
Right.
2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right, do we hear, adjournment? Anybody?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second? Jason seconds, thanks. All right, so all in favor? So look, we had a 35-minute, board meeting. Mr. Jake would be proud.